guyzini, welcome to the jewel box where we adorn ourselves with precious jewels for the glory and the beauty of God. I'm Lerato Matibe and we are about to dazzle. Yay! 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 I'm not too sure what I'm doing, but I'm gonna sing so. So see within. Okay, so last time I did a teaching in China video, and so just to proceed with that, a follow-up on that, I'm going to discuss the work contract with you guys, and I have broken it down into 4 categories. We'll talk about your salary, we'll talk about accommodation and your probation period, and lastly we will talk about the completion bonus. Okay, as you can hear, it's all about money, because vele we left our home to make money. We are here for the chankura. What else? And the contract really is your point of entry to securing the bag. So you have to do diligence to your contract. It is so important. Okay, so let's get into it. All right, number 1, your salary, right? First of all, your prospective employer will ask you, what is your expected salary in your interview, right? And depending on your recruiter, you may discuss that in the interview, or you can decide to not discuss that in the interview. You would rather allow your recruiter to liaise with your prospective employer. But before you even speak to your recruiter, you must have done your research about what type of city you want to go to, and you need to know yourself and know your worth. That is the most important thing. You need to know your worth, right? So your worth is determined by a number of factors, namely your qualification, your teaching experience, your skills, your personality, your accent, your physical traits. Yes, believe it or not, they have preferences. They're very particular, right? And so you might be on the greener side of life if you are slim and light-skinned. Yeah, I know. So mina njengoba mu chubby, sexy chubby nje, it's a bit rocky, but we do what we gotta do and we move. So you have to make sure if the one trait, if it isn't working in your favor, then you need to counter that with something else, right? So I always make sure that I try to make sure that I bring it when it comes to personality, right? That is a selling point, because kids fall in love with your personality, parents fall in love with your personality. So if you are not physically molded according to their specs, but if you bring personality to the table, then uzoba right. And then you also need to take into consideration the city that you are going to. So China, I'm speaking about China here, right? So China has their tier categories when it comes to cities, or what tier your city is. So just Google that or ask your recruiter, he will know. And then depending on the tier, then you will then determine your salary, because the expenses will differ from tier to tier, right? From city to city, and your salary needs to accommodate the expenses. Secondly, your accommodation. So when it comes to accommodation, you'll be given 2 options most of the time. You will either get a housing allowance, or you will get free accommodation. So let's deal with housing allowance first. With housing allowance, you need to make sure that the housing allowance that they give you is actually on par with the rentals of that city. So ask about how much the rental is within the area of your kindergarten or your training center or whatever type of school you're going to. And then when you read your contract, it should be more or less the same as that rental amount that they told you in your interview. Okay? Or else you'll be paying like an extra amount just to top up on their housing allowance, and we don't want that. Secondly, the free housing or free accommodation. This is so tricky, guys. With this one, you need to ask your prospective employer to be specific about the accommodation. So is it an apartment? Is it a one-bedroom apartment? Is it a room? Is it ihostela uyohlalapi? They must send you pictures. They must send you videos so that you can see and approve of that accommodation. If you do not like it, if you have whatever, you have the right to say, no, this is not good for me, and state your reasons, and then get them to look for something else that is suitable for you, right? And mina, true story, guys, mangfika ngahlala erumini, iroom ngahlala erumini with my then colleague, and we didn't share a bunk bed, but we had 2 bunk beds, like eres. So kanje. There was nothing, there was no curtain or anything separating, there was no privacy at all, like zero privacy. And our bathroom was like down the hall in the kindergarten itself. So tricky. We stayed there for about 2 months, and then after that we got a 2-bedroom apartment because we couldn't deal. We could not. Okay, so you don't want to be in that situation, so make sure that you ask the relevant questions. Number 3, your probation period. So your probation period is an opportunity for you to get to know the school, to figure out if the school is for you, and for your employer to also figure out if you are for the school, right? And during your probation period, you are mostly sent through for training, so you're not given like full classes. You shouldn't be. You should be eased into the process, and after your probation period, then you are given like the full bulk of your classes, right? And so the probation period usually lasts between 1 month and 3 months, but I would try to negotiate for the probation period to last no longer than 1 month, because like why should it be stretched out? I can't need. No, like seriously, I can't need. Because the thing is, good probation period, you earn less. You don't earn your full salary. So why would you want to stretch it out? Do you know what I mean? Yeah. Then make sure during your probation period, you actually investigating, you looking, you listening, you are observing, and you understand the work culture. And if it's something that's not for you, before the end of your probation, you need to say sorry, bye-bye, nigrand. Because if you stay after your probation period and then you want to leave, then they're going to penalize you. Then you've breaching your contract, right? Unless you give them like 3 months notice. So do the right thing. Bonus, the last factor is the completion bonus. So the completion bonus is just like, thank you, Sebenzile. It was good working with you, and we are grateful for your loyalty. Like you stayed and you completed your contracts. So that's why they call it a completion bonus. So sometimes they call it a flight reimbursement. So they give you back the money that you used to purchase your flights to go home or to go to another city. So yeah, they won't like say how much it is because it will depend on the flights, and then on other instances they will actually say it's whatever amount. amount and how much that amount should be. Like you must negotiate all these things. Yeah, so basically that's it from my experience. These are the things that I really wish I had known prior to signing my first contract. And now I know better, so I can make more informed decisions, So I wish you well with your journey. Come and teach in China. It's going to be such an enriching experience. All right, ciao. Chapisto! I think I'm going to make this my signature name. Yes. Nikule iJohn vule gate. Maga vule igate uJohn. Nizoza abroad. Everywhere, wherever. Okay, sharp. Bye.